Greetings, everyone.
Hello.
This is like take fucking 4, just so you know. We're having massive technical difficulties and dog chaos and Wi-Fi chaos, and we wanted to go live for you guys, but the Wi-Fi capacity is not allowing that to happen. All the cellular networks are down. The credit card machines are down. Nobody knows what to do.
It's madness. Absolute madness.
It's fucking madness up here in Mammoth Lakes.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you're new to the group, welcome. It's a chaos hugging kind of day. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Chris.
From hugyourchaos.com. And it is a perfect day for us to be practicing what we preach and hugging our chaos, because there's lots of it happening.
There's a little bit. We have, just as a brief rundown before we get into our topic, we've checked into an RV park to dump our tanks, fill up some fresh water and do some laundry and take showers. And this place is a fucking nightmare. Like, I would not recommend Mammoth Mountain RV Park to anybody. So if you come up to Mammoth Mountain,
don't stay here.
Don't fucking stay here.
Yeah, you'll get like a parking space on Blacktop for $55 a night.
We're not staying. We're going to do our laundry, have showers, and then we're out. We're going back into the wilderness.
Right.
That's all beside the point.
Because you know what? Actually, this illustrates our point very nicely. So, taking responsibility and empowering ourselves in our life and taking charge of what we have in our lives, or being victims. So, we could very easily sit here all night and complain and be really upset about
It's possible.
this place. Or we could handle our business, do what we need to do, take the loss, and go out to the woods and be happy.
Yeah.
So it's all a matter of what are you willing to do to create a space of happiness and satisfaction in your life. Because, you know what? Hey, I want to change my life. Sounds really good. Sounds good, in theory.
But you know what? We spent $60 to stay here. So what are we going to do? Are we going to realize that our responsibility is to our own peace of mind and our own heart and what feels good to us? Sitting here all night with barking dogs and motorbikes riding up and down.
And people drinking and wandering around and
packed in like sardines. That's not going to make us happy. We're going to lie there, we're going to be begrudging it, and we're going to have a really shitty night.
That's why we're going to do what we need to do, and we're going to go to the woods. We're going to dump our tanks and fill up our water. That gets us $30 worth of the money we spend. And the other 30, you know what? We'll take the loss and gladly go be happy. It's like an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment for our happiness. That's the way that we look at it. So that is us taking responsibility
for what we want our evening to look like.
It's for our situation, exactly.
Instead of just, sitting here and being a victim. And the point in all this is how this is a very small example of how often does this show up in our lives.
Exactly.
You know, I spent a good 30 some odd years, like I mentioned in the Morning Minute of Wisdom video, if you've watched it today. And I don't know how many of you have watched it, because I don't know how many of you were even able to get online today. So I spent a good portion of my life, begrudging everyone that I saw that looked like they had these wonderful lives and that they had it all together. And I was bitter. And I'd sit there and be like, oh yeah, like they just must be lucky. And I just, I'm just cursed. I'm jinxed. And no matter what I do, I'm just never going to have this life of happiness. And then, you know what? Something changed. I finally was to a place where I was miserable enough that I made a fucking decision that I was going to change my life. And I stuck with that decision no matter what came up. It didn't matter how uncomfortable it was or how scary it was. And there was a lot of moments where I didn't know what was going to happen next or where I was going to go next. And you know what? I stayed the path.
Stay the path.
I invested time, I invested money, and I invested energy into changing my life. And that's how I am where I'm at today. I'm happily married, we have a business, we're on the road, we have freedom, we have inner peace, we have abundance, we have lives that we love.
We can make choices like this where we don't have to sit tied to our situation, because we are empowered to step outside of that, to take responsibility for ourselves and the path that moves ahead from this point.
So we're curious for you guys, how many of you actually want some sort of change in your life, whether it's just more self-love or more financial prosperity or more self-respect and confidence, or maybe you want more inner peace, maybe you want more contentment. I don't know. We all want, different things. Everybody's a little bit different. Some of you may want more freedom to be out in the woods as we are.
You know how often we hear people say, luck. It comes down to luck. You know,
It's not luck.
You should count yourself lucky, because a lot of people don't have that success in, you know, life, in sobriety, and wherever you're at. You count yourself lucky. Count yourself lucky. Have you heard the saying, the harder I work, the luckier I get?
Right.
Well,
there's a reason for that.
Well, let's take it the next step. The more responsibility I take, the luckier I get. It's not
Right.
even hard work. You can work smarter and not work hard a day in your
You
life.
just have to be committed and show up regardless of how scary, uncomfortable, or unknown it gets.
Exactly.
But as soon as you ask someone, I mean, before I was ready, if someone asked me to commit to change, I wasn't going to do it. You want me to do what? No, I'm not stepping outside of my comfort zone. No. I ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. You know, no, I don't want to be there if I don't want to be there. I wasn't willing to invest my time, my energy, my resources, or my finances into a better way of living. And once I became willing to, you know, things started to shift. So it's something I want you guys to think about.
Yeah, so responsibility and commitment kind of go hand in hand. When you commit to something, you are taking responsibility to stay that path.
And you show up for it.
You show up for it. And it's not saying because we committed to be here for tonight, we have taken a greater commitment and responsibility to our own peace of mind,
Right.
getting a good night's sleep and staying connected. So we choose to follow another path, and we commit to that.
And we sacrifice the $30, you know, apart from the dumping fees and stuff like that. We're sacrificing. So do you see, you have to make a sacrifice when you want change. It's like when we want to change a behavior or we want to release negative patterns, we have to make sacrifices to those things. We have to change the way we do things. We have to commit to maybe, you know, listening to a coach or a mentor. We have to commit to doing things that make us uncomfortable. So I want you guys to think about today. I want you to think about
Luna,
where in your life you want change and whether or not you're actually willing to either sacrifice or invest time, energy, or resources into that change. Because it's real easy to sit back and be like, oh yeah, I want a better life. But are you actually willing to put something in towards that better life? Because everything is a flow of energy.
you know, you can use any excuse you like to stay where you are. And I'm going to share just a very quick story that comes up for me quite often. And it came up for me yesterday. And that story is, there is a man and he's in the desert and he's dying of thirst and he's stumbling and he comes across an old well. It's like an old pump. And there's a little jug of water sitting beside the pump. And there's a sign that says, pour the water into the top of the pump and it will prime the pump. And then you can pump all the water you can use. And so the man who's dying of thirst has a decision to make. Does he drink the water and give himself an extra 10 minutes of life? Or does he follow the instructions, take that step, trust, commitment,
sacrifice,
self-responsibility? Does he prime the pump knowing that the sign is there because it has worked previously? And then, you know, he has all the water he can use. So in the instance of the story, he takes the gamble. He primes the pump with the water, and then at first nothing comes out. And then all of a sudden he's pumping enough water so that he can drink his fill, he can fill up some bottles.
And he can survive.
Have a shower, and he doesn't just survive, but he thrives because the pump is now flowing. And he can
Imagine that.
He can refill that jug for the next person. How about that?
Imagine that.
If you drink that water, nobody gets to use that pump. That water's necessary.
Right. And it's the same thing that goes for life. So, you know, what we ask of you is that if you're really ready to change your life and you're sick and tired of being stuck in that dance of, oh, look at them, they just have this great life, they must be lucky, and I'm over here and I'm all cursed, and you're tired of being in the self-loathing and the self-pity and the feeling of like icky, trapped self-imprisonment, that's when you call us. So you can schedule, I'll drop the link in the comments with the video. You can schedule a free breakthrough call with us and find out more about, you know, what we do, but only if you're ready, because we're not wasting your time and we're not wasting our time.
No, because
on those of you who just think you want to change your lives.
Because the truth is, we are incredibly lucky, magical motherfuckers. And
we can show you how. So,
do you know how we got to that point? We got to that point through our own commitment, our responsibility to ourselves,
showing
and
up,
our path,
showing up when we didn't want to, and investing time, energy, and money.
Yeah.
So when you guys are ready,
Much love, everybody.
Have a beautiful afternoon. Bye.